As a mountain stream flows down from the hills, carrying pure water, rejuvenating the plants along the shore and providing much needed sustenance to animals and humans. In the same way, the sisters of the Nirmal Dhara province spread peace and goodwill to everyone they touch. The province functions under the loving mantle of Mary, the Immaculate Mother. Over the ages, God's mission of love for man has been continued through His chosen ones. He inspires, prepares, and puts dreams into the minds of some specially chosen people to fulfill His mission in this world. Monsignor Joseph K. W. Thomas, known as Kerala Damien, was one of God's chosen people and a great proponent of those who were marginalized by society. He reached out to them with a helping hand and a caring heart. Little Joseph was born on 27th October 1904 as the third son of Mr. Worky Thomas and Mrs. Clarama Thomas in Kandathal family at Chempu Vaikom in Kerala. His parents were devout Catholics who took their little son to St. Mary's Church, Kudvachur, where he was baptized and named Ausuf on the 7th day. From his early childhood, Joseph was very keen to attend the daily Eucharist and assisted at Holy Mass as an altar boy with great devotion. He did his primary schooling from Edayaram Government Pre-Primary School and his high school studies were at Vaikom and Aluva. While in Aluva High School boarding, he experienced God's call and decided to join the seminary and become a priest. As was destined, young Joseph joined the seminary in 1925 and completed his theological studies in Mangalore. While in Mangalapuram Major Seminary, Brother Joseph was a regular visitor to Father Muller's hospital. It was here that he developed a special love and compassion towards the lepers. On 17th December 1933, he was ordained a priest for the Archdiocese of Ernakulam by Mar Augustine Kandathil, the then Archbishop of Ernakulam. Soon after his ordination, he was appointed as the assistant parish priest of St. Mary's Church, Muttam, near Cherthala. As a young priest, Father Joseph spent his time along with P.J. Anthony the catechist visiting the families in Cherthala, especially of the Pulayas who were considered outcasts. These visits brought Father Joseph face to face with horrifying sights of lepers bundled in small huts with foul-smelling wounds covered with worms. Seeing the sad plight, his heart was moved towards these uncared for and rejected brethren who suffered physically from bodily defects and foul-smelling ulcers, and much more psychologically from the feeling of being isolated and rejected by society. Father Joseph was deeply touched by the situation, and he heard a divine call within. "Whatsoever you do for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you do for me." Deep in his heart, he felt a strong desire to do something for these unfortunate brethren. In his uncertainty on how to proceed, Father Joseph stormed the heavens with prayer and finally resolved to commit himself totally to the service of the poor and rejected. By God's grace, Luke Anthony of Muttam Parish donated 9 acres of plain, sandy land near a public cemetery in Cherthala for the purpose of building a leprosy asylum and a general hospital. He planted trees in the entire piece of land, made the landscape green and lush, and then he named the land Green Gardens. Amidst innumerable hardships and testing oppositions, God's will prevailed on 2nd February 1942 when a leprosy institution was blessed in Green Gardens, Cherthala. The poor and leprosy-stricken brethren found a divine touch at Green Gardens under the compassionate care of Father Joseph Kandathil. Having discovered the enormity of the work and its slow progress, he desired to have a group of committed women to join him in this noble work. The great work he began attracted many people to help him in different ways.
Our father founder, Monsignor Joseph Kandathil, had a lot of struggles, difficulties, sufferings, and oppositions to found our congregation. The congregation was founded mainly to serve the lepers, the outcasts, and all the rejected section of the society. While Father was planning and praying to found our congregation, he was mystically touched by the experience of a vision of Saint Francis with crucified Christ. This mystical experience and vision made him to found the congregation as a Franciscan congregation. During this time, few girls came forward to become religious, and Father welcomed them and formed them. This tiny plant, planted by Father Founder on April 2nd, 1949, with the permission of the Archbishop Mar Augustine Kandathil.
Father Joseph Kandathil officially inaugurated the new congregation and named it the Assisi Sisters of Mary Immaculate. The motto of Assisi Sisters of Mary Immaculate: as long as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me. The charism of our congregation is to follow the humble, poor Jesus and radiate his compassionate love in joyful service to the sick, the needy, the poor, and the rejected of the society, especially the leprosy-stricken brethren. The vision and goal of ASMI, empowered by the Word of God and witnessing the values of Christ to reach the perfect love, the Assisi Sisters commit themselves to be prophetic women like Mary, the Blessed Mother, striving to build a universal family of justice, love, and peace, where the lepers, the downtrodden, and the helpless are served and the marginalized are integrated with dignity. The congregation grew under the loving support of Father Joseph Kandathil and the able guidance of former Sister Generals. Many young people were wonderstruck by all that they saw, especially the well-disciplined, joyful, free and friendly atmosphere at Green Gardens, and were attracted to the charism and the mission of the congregation. In the year 1956, on 3rd November, the congregation was legally aggregated to the Order of Friars Minor Capuchins, and on 28th April 1986, it was raised to the status of pontifical right by His Holiness Pope John Paul II. Reading the signs of the times and the need of the hour, Assisi sisters have ventured to different parts of the country to share the love of Christ amongst the sick, the suffering, the ignorant, the neglected, and the needy. For better coordination and growth, the congregation was bifurcated into two provinces in the year 1987, the Sacred Heart Province Nagpur for North India and St. Joseph Province Ernakulam for South India. Father Joseph Kandathil was at the vanguard of this congregation from its infancy to maturity. God was very much pleased with his humble efforts and endurance in hardships. The Lord found him the most beautiful and matured flower. Therefore, he couldn't but want to pluck him away. Leaving the good memories behind and the continuation of his mission to the growing congregation, his soul flew away from green gardens to his eternal Father on 12th December 1991. His continuous intercession cherishes the congregation and its mission forever.
Today, I am here before my beloved Father Founder, who loved me and in whom I see the image of my own dad. I have experienced his love and affection as that of a daughter. Our Father Founder used to remember the name and feast days of all the members very accurately. I have heard of the initial struggles and pains Father underwent to convert the barren sandy land into beautiful green gardens where the unwanted and the lonely lepers of that time found acceptance, love and affection. I used to wonder at the great work Father began in his young age. I think it is because of his great faith in Jesus and his surety in his strong determination. Though not a Franciscan, with a true Franciscan spirit, he enlightened us. I bow my head before him with a sense of contentment and joy of being a member of this ASMI family founded by our beloved Father Founder.
The mother house of the Assisi Sisters of Mary Immaculate is situated at Cherthala, where the beloved Father Founder planted the tiny seed of ASMI. The Sister General and her 4 counselors reside there and oversee the whole congregation. Their leadership encourages every member of the congregation to attain holiness. The present Sister General is Sister Sebastiana Mary, and her counselors are Sister Gina Francis, Sister Lena Francis, Sister Aimad Mary and Sister Georgia Mary. As the years went by, the number of sisters increased and the mission was expanded. To extend the service still more effectively, it was decided to further divide the Sacred Heart Province Nagpur, from which stemmed out 2 provinces and 1 region, namely the Sacred Heart Province Nagpur, Nirmal Dhara Province Bhopal and Little Flower region Warangal, which was also turned into a province in 2011. The first provincial synaxis of Nirmal Dhara province took place in Sacred Heart Provincialate Nagpur in 2005, and the first provincial team shifted their office to Bhopal.
Sister Celestine, you are the first provincial of Nirmal Dhara province. Please share something about the beginning of the province.
Yeah, when I think of the beginning of the province, my heart is filled with gratitude towards God because God had great plan for our Nirmal Dhara province. The way God arranged for provincial house is a wonderful providence. To narrate that is a great joy for me. Bhopal Archdiocese had already invited us to Bhopal for joining in their education ministry, and they had given us a place in Lambakheda for us, and we were looking all around Bhopal for a place, and in Lambakheda itself 2.4 acres of land, a very good land God gave for us. We were also looking for our mission, special mission for rejected people. So as we came there, we went for survey of the place, and so many mentally retarded people because of the Bhopal gas tragedy. And so we were able to do mission for mentally retarded children. Though we came from Nagpur to a rented house in Sharada Nagar, within 6 months' time, we were able to make the provincial house in the new place, and there we started the office of the provincial house and also our mission for the mentally retarded children. Many benefactors were there to offer their assistance